Hi everybody, welcome to Afterburner. I'm Bill Whittle. I've been talking a lot lately about the power of story and emotion, how simple elements of doing and showing are far more effective than telling or explaining. And one of the reasons the left is so hysterical about the success of American Sniper is that it shows the valor, but especially the decency of the American soldier and what the left has portrayed as an evil war fought for evil purposes, presumably, although they never come quite out and say so, by evil men. Clint Eastwood's movie shows that America's not evil, and as I've said before, if America's not evil, then the left is out of business. Which brings me to another film that demonstrates what liberty looks like, 2006's The Lives of Others. That film gives us a glimpse, just a taste, of what it's like to live in a police state, the kind of socialist dystopia portrayed in films like George Orwell's 1984. These films did not invent this horror of an all-powerful state, they simply reflected it back to us. You know, the more you learn about the Bolsheviks, the murder machine known as the Soviet state, the more you're willing to dedicate your life to the prevention of these kind of evils right here in the land of the free. So, let me just briefly describe a few scenes from a movie which we see every day, which nevertheless is completely invisible and unknown to all of us. As a person who spent many, many hours with other writers reading as they describe the horrors, both large and small, of the logical, inevitable end result of collectivist thinking, philosophy, and politics, let me just briefly give you the elevator pitch for a few movies about liberty that would be as unimaginable to a Russian writer in 1937 or an East German policeman in 1966, or even a Brit named Winston Smith in the alternate universe of Ingsoc, English socialism, in 1984. A young man gets up and staggers out of bed. It's the weekend. He's all alone in a modest apartment. He grabs a backpack and a helmet, walks out to the street, gets on his motorcycle, and kickstarts it to life. He accelerates out of his suburban street out onto the open road, and there he just rides with a smile on his face in the open sunlight of an American summer. Where is he headed? He doesn't know. How long will he be gone? He doesn't care. Who does he report to? No one. What travel badge does he need for this trip? Badges? He don't need no stinking badges. This kind of freedom, to be free of internal passports, to rent an apartment or just crash on someone's couch without registering with the government, to live in the city you choose in any damn place that you can afford, that was and is unheard of to the tens or hundreds of millions of people who lived and continue to live in the collectivist utopia of perfect income equality and government-distributed housing. It's freedom, it's liberty, and if you told American kids there was a world where this didn't exist, they would look at you the same way they do when you tell them that we went to the moon with slide rules. Here's another. A Jewish mother is making phone calls. She's doing the final arrangements for her eldest son's bar mitzvah. She's spending a fortune, an absolute fortune, but she can, so she does. She calls Jewish-run businesses that specialize in these kind of events. She calls Christian-run businesses that don't. She buys food and decorations and all the rest from people whose religion and political affiliation she neither knows nor cares about, and she does it in the open. Not only without a second thought, but with actual pride. The idea that there was and is a world where what you are is more important than who you are is a movie she's never had to watch, not starring herself anyway, although she's probably heard many such stories secondhand. The idea that Jewishness was something that you'd only be able to talk about in a whisper at night with your husband is utterly unimaginable to her here in the America made possible by men like the one portrayed in American Sniper. Here's a final one. A businessman arrives at work in the morning. He's not in a corporate glass tower moving millions of dollars. He's a small businessman. He runs an auto repair store. And he's been coming to work like this every day for the past 17 years, ever since he went to the bank with a plan and a little credit and 2 decades of working for someone else. He decides to cut his rate on an oil change to less than it actually costs in order to attract new customers. He's interviewing a new mechanic at 2 p.m. He's short of critical parts, and it looks like he's going to have to buy some more despite the fact that this is the month his quarterly insurance payment is due. He makes all of these decisions on his own. No one sets his prices for him. No government agency issues him 6,000 spark plugs and then leaves him to trade them for the things that he needs on the black market, risking arrest and the ruin of his family to get what he needs in order to make the quota for the state's 5-year plan. He gets to hire who he wants based on experience, skill, cost, and whether or not he likes the guy, rather than have to pay a slovenly and sullen nephew of the official that arranges for tire allocations, and when he's done at the end of the day, and he's the first one in and the last one out as usual, he gets to lock the door to the building with his name on it, and then look forward to his daughter's college graduation, which has cost him an absolute bundle. These stories, 300 million of them, happen every day here in the land of the free and the home of the brave. They don't make the news, let alone the big screen, because there's nothing unusual about any of them. But they are miracles, every one, as miraculous to the hundreds of millions of other lives locked in tyranny as land speeders or lightsabers or the Millennium Falcon is to us. This is what liberty looks like. It is not, and it has never been, the default condition of mankind. Liberty is bought and paid for by men and women who offer and who have given their lives in order to maintain it. And if we forget them and the miracles they make possible every day, we will not just lose these freedoms, we'll deserve to lose them.